Hey, good morning, everybody, and happy Memorial Day. It's hard to believe that it's Memorial Day already. Excuse me. Yeah, it's hard to believe it's Memorial Day already. I mean, it doesn't feel like it was Memorial Day, but yesterday of last year. But now it's Memorial Day 2012. Go figure. But there was a question at the Sega forums, and I thought I'd address it here. And I know I'm probably going to get some mixed reactions, and probably a lot of people for it, and a lot of people kind of in between, a lot of people against it. But somebody was asking the question of should Sonic the Hedgehog be single? And I know that may sound ridiculous to some people listening to this, but for those of you that are wondering why this question, for those of you actually that are new and wondering why this question's being asked right now, the reason's real simple. You see, the comic books and various animated outlets, if you will, have depicted Sonic at times being in a relationship. The most infamous, or the most famous, or the most well known of this is Sonic the Hedgehog Saturday Morning 1993 to 95, or otherwise known as Sonic Sat AM. Because just like in the comics, he had a sort of a unique relationship with the character Princess Sally. Now, a lot of people preferred, believe it or not, and it still rings true to this day, there's a lot that do prefer him being in that kind of a relationship with someone like her. But then again, as time has gone on, and we've had the inception and the debuts and the introduction of newer characters. Like we've had Amy Rose when she first came out, basically a fangirl that was crushing on Sonic, and now you take a look at her ever since her redesign in Sonic Adventure 13 years ago, or just about 13 years ago. And here's a character that when you look at her now, you're like, she would be perfect for Sonic. And especially if you watch the cartoon series Sonic X, which debuted in 2003, and so far as we know, ran to 2006, 2007. So far as we know. Put hashtag there because, or asterisk there, but whatever you call it, because we don't know yet if it's going to continue or not. And then you get other characters introduced. You get the very controversial Elise, the Princess Elise. You get other characters. Like you get one of my personal favorites, Blaze, introduced. You get Rouge, believe it or not. Tikal, Shade, and the list goes on. Mina in the comics. Fiona at one point. Nicole in the comics. And again, the list goes on. You even have people with the fan characters, put into situations with Sonic. Jay Foxfire with her fan character version of herself, and a few others, just to name a few. But the question that was asked is, should he be single? Well, again, depending on the media outlet and how you follow him, how you follow the franchise, whether it's through the games or the comics or whatever, it's all up to what you believe. Yeah, it truly is. It's truly up to what you feel, what you believe, what you think, who you think and feel that he would be right with. Now, we all know, though, that a permanent relationship with Sonic is not in the cards. We all know that. And again, in case some of you are new and are wondering why that's the case, Sega of America, or overall the Sega Corporation, Sega of America, Sega of Japan, whatever, Europe, whatever. Basically, Sega overall has mandated that Sonic can never be with a girlfriend. He can't be with a, he can't have a steady girlfriend. That's about it. I mean, they have no problems if he has like a temporary relationship here and there. You know, that is why, like, if you look at the comics, if you follow the comic books, that is why he's always kind of broken off and on with not just Sally, but with some other girls like Fiona, or well, she broke up with him. You get the idea. But with Fiona, and then you take a look at Mina and all that. So, and you look at how he kind of flirts with Nicole a little bit. And even Bunny, I forgot to add Bunny in there, but, you know, of course, Bunny's married now in the comics, so you could scratch that. But again, what I'm saying, you know, basically what I'm saying is, you know, you look at that relationship he's had with Sally that's been on and off in the comics, and all these other flirtatious relationships that he's had, whether he's broke them off or the girl has broke them off with him. It's all because of Sega's mandates. I mean, heck, for those that want to see Sonic and Amy together in the games, in Sonic X, and even in the comics, that's not going to happen. Because Sega's even mandated that even though Amy is one of their official characters in the game that you can play in the games or interact with in the games and whatnot, Sonic can't even have a relationship with her because it's against the mandates. You see, basically, as much as people would like to see Sonic be like the Mickey Mouse of Sega and really settle down and have a relationship like Mickey has with Minnie, you know, it can never be. It can never be. And, you know, that is why, you know, people always ask this question, or these kind of questions of, should he be single? And again, it's up to your imagination. It's up to how you feel. It's how you believe. It's how you look at the character. You know, personally, it doesn't matter to me, you know, depending on the medium. I mean, if you want to put them in a relationship like they did in Sat AM, in the Sonic Sat AM cartoon with someone like Sally, go ahead. That's fine. If you want to use an anime/American cartoon like Sonic X and say, hey, I want to put him in a relationship with, or not put him in, but tease potential relationship, if you will, between him and Amy, go ahead. You know, it's not the games. That's the way I look at it. It's not the games, so you don't really have to worry about that. Well, you don't have to worry about it as much. And, you know, again, you know, this is why people always ask that question. But overall, the thing is, you know, he can have a relationship. Doesn't matter what medium it is, whether it's the comics, whether it's a cartoon. He can have a relationship with the likes of, let's say, a Sally or an Amy, or if you want to go far and say, okay, Mina, or even Nicole, or even if you want to reboot Sat AM and say Bunny, you know, not that that's ever going to happen, like I said, because she's married in the comics. But you get what I'm saying. You know, if you want to do that and everything, that's fine. Because, you know, that's fine. Obviously, in Sega's minds, that's fine because it's not a permanent deal. It's not the way they look at Sonic. You see, the Sega Corporation, overall, their main focus is the games. Yes, they do stick their nose into situations like the comic books and all that. They have done that throughout the years, as I noted in a previous audio video, which was very, very long, and I apologize about that. But the thing is, you know, no matter how we feel or what we say, you know, how we feel, what we say is, as far as the games go, that's the main priority. The games, he's always going to be single. He's always going to be Mr. Cool. He's always going to be Mr. Attitude. And at times, if you want to look at it, he's sometimes going to be Mr. Cocky. You know, that's basically what he'll be. But the way I look at it, as far as like say an anime cartoon spin-off or American cartoon spin-off like back with Sat AM and such, or even the comic books, you want to put them in a relationship, that's fine with Sega, but the only thing they ask is it's not a long relationship. It's not a long one. In other words, it's like, okay, you can have them in a relationship till about maybe for so many issues, and then you either got to have some kind of break off between them. Like they got to come to an understanding that right now they can't have a relationship because of the situation they're in, or it's just not working out and they need to look at different options and blah, blah, blah. Basically, personal differences. I mean, if you want a good example, I'll give you one. In fact, let me see if I can look it up in my comics here. And it's really, really down there. Hold on. Hold on for a second, folks. Trying to make sure I get everything out of here without messing it up. Okay, let's see, 67, 68. Yeah. All right. I was just looking up something, folks. I'm sorry about that. But what I was trying to say, and this is one of the reasons I got to get myself some kind of a bookshelf or something like that with a glass case in the future. But anyway, you want a good example, take a look at Ninja Turtles, Archie Comics version of Ninja Turtles, issues 67 to 70. Issues 67 to 70. Most importantly, 70. And you will see one of the most, what everybody thought would be a very steady, long-lasting relationship. That relationship ended up coming to an end by the end of issue 70. And the relationship I'm talking about is Raphael and Ninjara. And again, look up those issues. If not, look up all of the issues from about 29 up till 70, and you'll get an idea. But the point I'm getting across here, folks, is for at least 41 issues, well, 40 issues at least, those two had a steady relationship. Yeah, bumps in the road as we got to like the issues I mentioned, 67 to 70. But still, for most of that time, 40 issues plus, if you will, they had a steady relationship. And everybody liked it. But unfortunately, it came to an end due to, storyline-wise, due to personal differences. It came to an end. And yes, they did have Ninjara, as crazy as it sounds, fall in love with somebody else. As far as we know. If you read the issues of Furlong with her in there, you pretty much have an idea of what happened. But putting that aside, due to personal differences storyline-wise, they had to end the relationship. Now, some people might say maybe it was the inner workings over at, Archie Comics and the differences between Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird and Archie and Mirage Studios overall. Maybe it was the personal differences. You know what I'm saying? Because essentially, the total characters were Peter and Kevin's. Ninjara belonged to somebody else. So I don't know if it was due to the fact that their deal with Archie Comics was coming to an end or not. But I believe there was more than just, storyline-wise, personal differences that ended the relationship. I believe internal-wise that maybe Peter and Kevin said, okay, enough is enough about this relationship. Let's move on. Now, Ninjara, believe it or not, was originally going to come back in a story that I don't know if they've published it or not, that was supposed to be published during the original run, and I don't know if Archie Comics finally did republish it or anything. But she was supposed to come back. So, again though, just to show you a bit of an example, if, in my opinion, the people that created the Turtles, or at least one of them or whoever, decided that maybe it was time to end the relationship between Raphael and Ninjara, not just due to storyline-wise personal differences, but maybe due to the fact that they felt, the Turtles don't need a girlfriend and all that anymore. And hey, that's fine. Hey, that's fine. That's their decision. And if it was because maybe the deal was coming up with Archie Comics, hey, that's fine too. But who knows? Who knows? But what I'm trying to say though is if Peter and Kevin possibly made that decision, whether the deal was coming up or not, to end that relationship, then Sega has all the rights, no matter what we say, depending on who's in charge at the Sonic Team division. They have all the rights to say, look, you can have Sonic in a relationship in the comics for so many issues, but then you got to break it off. They have a right to say that. They have a right to say that. No matter how we feel about it as fans or anybody else feels about it, they have a right to say that. You see, as much as we'd like to see, depending on our preference, as much as we'd like to see Sonic with Sally, or Sonic with Amy, or Sonic with Mina, or even, heck, if you want to throw a bone out there, Sonic Nicole, Sonic Blaze, Sonic Bunny, whatever. As much as we would like to see him with somebody on a permanent basis, it's not going to happen. So the point is, we should just be satisfied that as much as we dislike Sega sticking a nose into the comic books business when they should be mainly focusing on the games, we should be at least satisfied and happy they're letting Sonic at times have a relationship. Now, I know there are those listening to this that are like, well, Sonic, that, like I mentioned at the beginning, would agree with Sega and basically say, hey, Sonic shouldn't have a relationship. He doesn't need one. Yeah, that is true, and that's your opinion. You have a right to it. Excuse me. That's your opinion. You have a right to it. But, again, it's the opinion of all fans, with how they feel about it. But the question, and I'll provide a link to that question here, is what do you think? What do you think Sonic should be? Do you think he should be single? Do you think he should be out on his own? Do you think he should have somebody? Or are you kind of like, it doesn't really matter? Because I know a lot of people, like I just mentioned, will agree that he should be single, and that's what he's about. And that's true. That's their right to their opinion. But as I mentioned before, there are those that will say, hey, he should be in a relationship. He should have somebody to play off of. And that's true. And then there will be those that will be like, it really doesn't matter to me whether he's single or not. So that is basically the question. Should Sonic be single? I'm posing that question to you guys out there here in YouTube land and watching and listening all over. Do you think he should be? Do you think he should be? That's all I'm going to ask. Comment, response down below, and I'll talk to you later.